Josh Green here for Seconds Out with Mr. Frank Smith, Matchroom Boxing CEO. How are you doing today, Frank? Cold?
Bloody freezing, mate. I didn't realise Sheffield was this cold. I'm happy. I'm slightly happy I'm flying out to New York for Sandy Ryan.
We're here, finally, Harper versus Dixon up in Sheffield, then down in London with Johnny Fisher, now back up here in Sheffield. How much of a logistical problem has this been for you?
Yeah, it is what it is. You know, it's what we do. We're used to it. Problems. It wouldn't be the same. Boxing wouldn't be the same without problems, would it? So we get through it and we keep moving. And the focus, as I said in the press conference, was about keeping the fight and the show on for the fighters. They work so hard, they train so hard, and we want to make sure we can deliver for the fighters.
How difficult is that call when you have to make it to fighters, saying that shows off, things like that?
It's the worst. It's the worst call you can do. I mean, look, I think in the last 8-9 years we've called off maybe 2 shows. We've always managed to salvage it, and again, like I said, we have to thank DAZN as well, because without their support in moments like this, it would be very, very difficult. But they stuck by it. They wanted to keep the show on, and big thank you to them for their support in making it happen.
A chance for Terry Harper to become a 3-weight world champion, and Rhiannon Dixon to continue building her profile. A real nice mix of experience as well. They've come from they've come from similar sort of backgrounds, I guess, but the way they've built their careers has been very, very different.
Yeah, I mean, look, at very different stages of their career as well. You know, Terry, a 2-weight world champion, has been in there against the biggest names in the sport. You know, Alicia Baumgardner, Sandy Ryan, Cecilia Brackhouse. You know, has been in there in those fights. You know, Rhiannon Dixon, the earlier part of her career, just won a world title. As I said up there, could have gone into not an easier fight, but a lesser known name. You know, Terry's going to be a real test for her, but respect, because they know they need to take real fights. Terry's in a point of her career where if she wins on Saturday night, sets up, as I said, up there massive fights. If she loses, could be the end in terms of, in her mind, of what what more does she want from the sport at that point. But for Rhiannon, respect to her as well. Just early on in her career, winning the world title, straight in there in a proper fight against Terry Harper. I think we're in for a great tear up between the two of them.
Galal Yafai on the undercard, not here today, but a chance for him to really get his hands warm, I guess, ahead of a big fight with Sonny.
Yeah, I think he heard it was very cold in here, so he stayed away. But yeah, look, he boxed in April. He wanted to run out before that Sonny Edwards fight. Fair play, I can understand it, and I get it. Sonny fought end of June. And Galal wants to be in the best possible condition going into that fight against Sonny Edwards. He knows how hard the fight is. He knows what he needs to do in that fight. It's a run out for him, but a great card as well. Peter McGrail back out, a real talent, a fighter that we're excited by. A whole host of young talent on the card as well. Giorgio Vizioli, Jimmy Sainz, George Liddard, Ibrahim Spider Suleiman. Top to bottom, packed out.
My colleague spoke to Sonny Edwards yesterday down in London. He doesn't believe the fight with Galal is going to happen. He doesn't believe Galal's team wanted that fight. Do you think it happens?
Yeah, I believe it does. Look, we obviously promote both guys. We want to deliver the best possible fight for both fighters, and I believe it. Look, we wouldn't be here if we didn't think the fight would happen. We wouldn't have announced it if we didn't think the fight would happen. I think it took a little bit longer than we would have liked to get it done, but we got it done, and I believe it happens.
An explosive press conference yesterday down in London for Beterbeiv versus Bivol. Got to touch on some comments by Chris Eubank Jr. Towards all the promoters really that were on the stage. What was your sort of initial reaction to the comments made by Chris?
Yeah, look, I've said a few times, I've been asked, it's like a shit reality TV programme really. This is not the forum for me personally to answer, because I've never said anything about him. He's never said anything to me personally. I obviously have a close personal relationship with him. You have to, and I'll speak to him in person rather than across here. I'd love to give you headlines and views, but unfortunately that's not going to be me today. Keep it professional.
He's obviously got a professional relationship with the likes of Calla, Frank, Eddie, but with you, as you say, it's more of a personal relationship. But you were surprised that he sort of dragged you and your name into that? Surprised. I'm very open book. You can come and have a conversation with me. If he's got a problem, he could say to me. He's never had a problem with me in my life. He's never said anything to me. So I think it's also a narrative that's being driven by people around him as well. His management team, his promotional team, and whatever they need to do to get headlines. Good luck to them if that's what is needed. But like I say, not for me to. I'm not going to go back and forward. It's not really worth too much energy. Huge fight
on October the 12th between Beterbeiv and Bivol. I think huge is probably an understatement for that one. We finally get that undisputed fight that we've been waiting for so long. We really get the juices flowing when we have fights like that to announce and talk about.
100%. Look, and it's a fight, we say this, we've said this a few times, but without Riyadh season, that is definitely a fight that would not happen. You know, it's a massive fight. Beterbeiv Bivol, it's the best fight in boxing. You know, and although it may not get the credit from the casual boxing fans, hopefully it does. Hopefully they see the scale of everything around it. It's a great fight to see. I believe Dmitry Bivol, our man, goes in there and does a job on Artur Beterbeiv, but the best fight in boxing and one we're looking forward to.
We haven't had the chance to speak to you following the weekend's action down in Wembley. Shock is the word I've heard most about the result between Dubois and Joshua. I mean, initial reactions from you on that one?
Yeah, look, it was heavyweight boxing. Anyone who's 17, 18, 19 stone lands a punch on someone's chin and you're going to be in trouble, aren't you? You know, I believed Anthony Joshua would win that fight, but Daniel Dubois, tremendous performance from him. He went in there and delivered, you know, and AJ, you know, did not stop coming throughout that fight. All respect to him. You know, he doesn't get the respect, I don't believe, in the sport that he deserves. He probably won't until he retires. But look, a great night for the sport. Not a great result or night for us, but a great night for the sport of boxing. You know, and it was great to see nights like that we saw at Wembley, 98,000 people.
Some uncharacteristic things from AJ during the fight, they're like sticking the tongue out. He referred to Daniel Dubois when he was sat in the corner with his trainer Ben Davison. He said he's shit. Are these things, can you take any weakness from that? How do you view those sort of interactions?
Not really. The only person who can say anything about it is him, and anyone who's been in the ring having a tear up. Like, it's easy for us to say, why did he do this, why did he do that? You know, you could look into every detail of everything someone does, but I don't read it too much into it. He got caught with a big shot in the first round. He never really recovered, but he kept on coming forward, and in the fifth round he took his chance. Didn't work out. But that's boxing, and that's why we love heavyweight boxing. We love it that anything can happen, and that's why big fights, we'll always be intrigued by big fights, and big fights can still happen regardless of results. It's about fighters coming together in proper fights, and that's what we're seeing.
I know there's been a number of names mentioned already next for AJ. What comes to mind when you think what could be next for AJ's career?
There's so much. There's the Daniel Dubois rematch. He's shown time and time again, Anthony, that he'll go straight back into fights. Did it against Andy Ruiz, did it against Alexander Usyk. There's the, you know, Deontay Wilder was a fight brought up the other day. You know, there's the fight against Tyson Fury, depending on what happens on December 21st. There's so many opportunities. And again, like I say, it's about making fights people want to watch, and these are all fights people want to watch.
How do you think Fury's result in the rematch against Usyk alters the size of the fight against Anthony Joshua?
Can I be honest with you? I think even if Tyson Fury loses, it's still probably up there as one of the biggest fights in the sport. Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua, because it's about the two of them coming together. It's the intrigue in those two and the stuff that's gone on in the past, and those guys coming together. So, you know, I wish him all the luck, Tyson Fury. You know. But yeah, when you ask me, does that fight matter depending on result? I don't believe so.
Frank, appreciate the time, and we'll speak to you in a couple of days.
Cheers, pal. Good to see you.